like. We are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. So if one of the other doesn't work, please head to the other. All right. Again, my name is Jeremy Majors. I'm a dog trainer out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Specialized in fearful and aggressive and severely separation anxiety. Hope you guys this Thursday is going great, and I hope your dogs are acting great as well. All right, let's get to some questions, shall we? Let's see. Have you ever had a dog that gets so excited when meeting new people at house, the dog nips? After a few minutes of nothing but jumping and correcting, and then mostly ignoring him, waiting for him to calm down, he tends to nip at pants, at ankles, or butt of a new person. As a matter of fact, yes, I do have experience with that. I have a dog in my kennel right now that tends to do that. And that nipping thing is a way to manipulate the people that he's trying to manipulate. Obviously, the dog is either so overly excited that the dog wants to control, or there's a little bit of insecurity there, and that's how he deals with his insecurity, by trying to control the situation. So, basically that's it. He nips only to control. And Duke, don't. I'm watching a little dog and he's a little yippy. But anyway, yeah, when a dog starts to do that, when people come in, that could be their way of controlling the situation. But Duke, be quiet. Come here. You stay, bud. My wife's coming home. So anyway, yes, back to the question. When people come in, if the dog is nipping, barking, jumping, all that good stuff, that just tells you that you have to take control in that situation. All right, and that's going to take a little bit of practice. A lot more boundaries in the house, not just with that situation, but overall. So I would cut down playing for a while in the house. I wouldn't allow my dog to play in the house until we got better with that situation. But the place command is also is very great to help him control himself when people come in. But I would also practice when you come in, not saying hi, paying attention to the dog, or even just telling the dog no, off, or go to your bed, because that's very important. If the dog doesn't control himself when you walk in, it's definitely not going to do it when a stranger does the same. Okay. So those of you who just joined, this is the dog training Q&A. You got any questions about any dog training or anything like that, dog behavior, please feel free to ask. Ask as many questions as you like. We are here until we run out of questions. So that's that. Okay, let me see. Next question. Okay. Let's see. What do I do when my dog growls at my husband when he comes by me, either when I'm on the couch or in bed when he comes to bed later? They sleep with us. I would say if the dog growls, then the dog has to either get off the couch or on the bed. Can't have a dog who thinks that he can control what humans do. It should be the other way around. The dog should be accommodating to the humans, as opposed to the humans being accommodating to the dog. If the growl works, then the dog's going to continue to do it. But I would just make a rule: if my dog growls at me while I'm on the couch, or growls at someone while they're on the couch, then they obviously then have to get off the couch for a while. Same thing with the bed. Simple as that. Growling should never be accepted. Thank you for your question. All right, next question. How many times or how long do I need to keep using the pet corrector convincer? Well, I think a dog that learns really well from the pet convincer, you maybe only have to use it twice. Sometimes certain dogs, just the sight of it will get them to sort of think twice about what they're getting ready to get into. It just depends on your dog, really. Like I said, if the pet corrector is very effective, then that means some dogs really avoid doing what they are going to do to avoid that the pet corrector sound. Because again, I have a lot of clients who just show it and who just show the canister. They don't even have to spray it, and the dog sort of says, "Okay, what do you want?" You know what I'm saying? So, if your dog is desensitized to it, though, you may have to use another tool if he's not responding to it. That's what I mean. The doggy don't is another good option. Is Prozac good for dogs? No. I don't know. I've never had a dog. I've had plenty of dogs that come to me with Prozac, on Prozac, or some kind of calming medication. You're welcome. And I've never, by the end of the training, never said this dog needs to continue to be on Prozac, because there's not that much of a difference. I think I did make a post about that. Yeah, cheers, Matt. I did make a post about that. You know, I think it'd be wise for anybody to get your dog through some sort of behavior training or something like that before you put your dog on meds, because sometimes, again, they don't even work, and you don't want to keep running to the vet and buying meds. February 23rd. All right, but thanks for your question. How do I get my dog to listen to me when he's constantly barking outside our home at people or other dogs walking by? I say, no bark, but he doesn't listen at all. I'll get to your question in a minute, Suli. Okay, so how do you get your dog to listen to you when he's constantly barking? You just got to be able to spend more time out there with him and make sure that you have a tool in order to reach him. Okay, so when he's outside, you have to be out there, be present, so that you can use your verbal pressure, which is your no bark. But then you either have to have a tool to help him listen even further than that, a training tool in the form of a pet convincer, a doggy don't, or an e-collar. He's over there. He's in the kitchen right now. So yeah, you have to be able to reach him, and those training tools are only there to make sure he knows and learns what no bark means, because right now he doesn't know what that means at all. He's just like, she's just making noise, I don't have to listen. You know what I'm saying? So that is the reason for the training tools, and they're only temporary if you use them right. But two things have to happen. You have to spend more time out there with him, and you have to make sure that you have tools at your access so that you can reach him and teach him. All right? Thanks for your question. My German Shepherd does not like water. I want to give him a bath. Do I force him to go in, or try to give him time to get used to the tub? I would just put my dog in the tub. tie him up in there somehow. Um, you know, he could learn to like it too. He may not learn to, and he may not learn to like it, but he can also learn that it's not a big deal. It's not the big deal he maybe thinks it is. So, yeah, I'd go ahead and put him in there. Again, tie him up and, give him a bath. It's only beneficial for him to be able to do that. So yeah. Thanks for your question. Do containment issues turn into separation anxiety, or is it a separate issue? That's a good, tough question. I would say separation anxiety and containment issues can be you can sort of learn the difference by eliminating a few things. You can sort of tell the difference by just doing this. Separation anxiety, right? When you leave, what does the dog do? Locked up or not? So if he has containment issues, he's going to freak out in the crate whether you're there or not, in my opinion. When you're not there, if he doesn't freak out outside of the crate, then it's not separation anxiety. It could just be then containment issues, right? So I had a Doberman a long time ago who had that containment issue because he was fine outside the crate. When we left, nothing was torn up. No signs of separation anxiety. The only time he had a problem with it was when he was in the crate, and it wouldn't matter if I was there or not. So it really wasn't separation anxiety because most dogs that have just specific separation anxiety only freak out when they are separate completely from their owner. Okay, example, Dexter is fine home alone, but doesn't like crates anymore ever since I moved last year. I don't know Dexter. You would know. You know him, but if he's been fine with them, if he grew up fine with them, then I think that dog, based on me knowing him a little bit too, I think he's just being a brat. I wouldn't think he would have containment issues. Just knowing the relationship between you two, so he's sort of like a clingy dog. But you know your dog better than me. Anyway, thanks for your question. Feel free to ask another one if I'm way off. Alright. Okay, had a question here, I think. How do I get back to that question? Come on now. Oh, there we go. Hi, Jeremy. I'm trying to get rid of my dog's reactivity. I'm currently using the pet convincer to interrupt her attention on dogs and people. However, how many times do I need to... Okay, sorry, I already answered that. How to stop a dog from chasing cats. I've tried high e-collar correction, but continues to go crazy or have an interest in them. Excuse me. At the sight of them. So, let me ask you this. You can get back to me when you want, but what level are you correcting your dog at? Just curious. Type in the number. He is clingy. Dexter is a clingy dog. He's a freaking ham. He's awesome, but he's clingy. All right. Another question. Let's see. Oh, here we go. How do you know when to go from e-collar continuous stem? Oh, this is from a trainer. I'm gonna answer this one separately. Let's ask another one. What do you suggest when a dog is scared but needs what you're doing to it? Vaccines, nail trims, baths. What do you suggest? I would suggest putting a muzzle on the dog and then tying up the dog to something to where it limits its mobility. I even go as far as putting a leash under its belly and attaching the clasp to a fence, and then putting a leash on a regular front collar and in a very short one, and then putting that on a fence, so that it really limits his mobility. And then I just kind of get the dog being used to being touched and pet, and then I'll grab his paws and I'll kind of guide him through that. And I won't stop doing that until the dog sort of gives in to, or just stops trying to get out of the situation. So I really limit the mobility so that we can get to a point where the dog thinks or learns that this is something that's going to happen. I'm going to try and avoid making you uncomfortable, but some things are for your benefit, and so some things you do have to deal with, just like we were talking about earlier, taking a bath. So yeah, I would do that. It doesn't hurt the relationship at all. I do think every dog should be able to be groomed without protest, and so if you're not to that point with your dog, that is definitely something to work towards. It just speaks of a good relationship between you and your dog. Your dog trusts you enough to not move, and also knows that that his attempt will not win. That's a very good point to reach in your relationship with your dog. Those two things right there. Okay, my dogs trust me enough to, no matter how big they are, I can pick them up, belly up, and they'll just relax. So that, again, is something that speaks to the trust of the relationship, but also the obedience side of the relationship. When I say relax, they relax. They take my word for it, because it's never resulting in something that would question the trust. And I've been consistent enough to get through to them that when I say something, they actually do it. All right. Cheers. Oh, I told you guys about the progression of my neighbor's lights. It's going to be pretty spectacular. But it's been very cold the last few days, so he's only gotten a few other things up, and it's been very windy also. So he hasn't been putting things up because they just blow away. So you guys can kind of see it. It's getting there. It was better than last week, but stay tuned for next week. It'll probably be a different story. All right. What is the best way to handle nipping in a 10-week-old puppy? Okay, so this is what I do. It's a pretty simple fix. When the dog puts his mouth on you, you take your 2 fingers and you pinch right here. Just pinch his bottom jaw until he starts to pull back. Once he pulls back, let go. And then if he tries to nip again, repeat. The dog will not nip if it results in something uncomfortable for him over and over and over again. Promise you that. They're that young, they can learn. Okay, because the mother corrects very, very, very young, and the the puppies respond to it. So easy, simple way to get your dog to stop nipping. Just pinch his bottom jaw till he gets a little uncomfortable, and then let go. And then once he comes back if he comes back for more, try it again. Okay. Easy, simple. Thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another one. All right, moving right along. The theme for this months dogs is straight up anxiety. I have 3 dogs. I would say two things: control issues and anxiety. These are the main issues I'm dealing with when it comes to my dogs, or the dogs that are staying with us. Controlling in the fact that I've got one dog who really hurt another dog, send them to the hospital. And that dog, I've noticed, cannot handle when my dogs play. She wants to go and control them by putting her mouth on the back of their necks. This is something that we have to intervene in right away. Okay? Because my dogs won't fight, but it could start a fight. Her need to control the situation has to be eliminated. She has to know that she doesn't have to do those things, because that's going to get somebody hurt. So, one of the things that we've done, what we do is leave a long leash on the dog so we can, when she goes into that controlling mode, and this is a lot of dogs that come and socialize with us. We just leave a long line on the dog. As soon as the dog tries to sprint after my dogs, I just step on it, tell the dog no, or I use a dressage whip, and I can even use an e-collar. So anything to interrupt that. All right, so that's one dog. The other dog is a German Shepherd that's really controlling. He hurts people in the house. He even tries to control the play of my dogs by being super dominant over them. And again, it's hard for him to not be that way because he's a big, handsome boy, and he probably hasn't played with a dog bigger than him that's humbled him. So that's what he needs. He just needs to be humbled and allow my dogs to play, because my dogs play very vocally, and it sounds like they're fighting damn near. And some dogs, again, that is a sort of a trigger for some dogs to try and control that, because it sounds like it's out of control, pretty much. It sounds like my dogs are dang near fighting. Like, you know, they're but that's just how they play. And you know, a lot of dogs have to learn how to not want to be or break it up. You know, a lot of dogs want to break it up. So, especially some Australian Shepherds. So yeah, anxiety and control issues. I'm teaching a few dogs the treadmill, and the ones that have super bad anxiety are the ones who have a hard time. Why? Because they've never allowed someone to be so in control of what they do, how they do it, when they start, when they stop, all of that. I really do feel a lot of the dogs that we deal with take big issue on that, because you can see it in the videos when I walk them. When I sit those dogs, they immediately do what? They're looking around. You know, they try and get up. Then, you know, they're so impatient. It's like, you know, super important to just be able to, when you're walking your dog, just sit and stop and smell the damn roses. We don't even do that as humans, but the dogs need to clear their mind or go through that whole process of getting impatient and then learning that they have to stay in one spot until we're ready to go, as opposed to saying in their mind, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm just going to go now. You know what I mean? So every dog that I train, we got to go through that, because most dogs are able to do what they want when they want, and that's just not the case when they come here. I'm really teaching them, and that's just how it sounds kind of, I don't care. I know it may sound controlling, but it also is the number one thing to help your dog realize or see things the way that you see things. They have to go through the process of, you know, get to that point in their mind of, okay, what are we doing? As opposed to, all right, I'm sitting, now I'm doing what I want. Is your hair a different color? Hey, look at that. It look good. It's good. So anyway, yeah, just if you're curious about that at all, look at my videos that I've posted about those two dogs and watch them. When they sit down, watch what they do immediately. They're looking around. They're sort of insecure because they've been insecure on walks. It's something that's not they're comfortable with, and that's why we kind of sit there for a while so that they can sort of let me be in control as opposed to thinking that they can be in control themselves, you know. So very important, very simple, but very important that your dogs do that. Yeah, he's been a little bit more busy. Again, we've had really bad weather. If you guys see those trees at all, man, those trees took him hours and hours and hours to do, just one dang gum tree. But or two trees. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, it's just super important for dogs to go through that whole mindset, that process. I think, because most dogs just we're impatient, and that makes them also, you know, not even have the chance to develop a patient dog. So I did have a question about a puppy. I'll answer that, and you guys, if you have any final questions, feel free to ask those questions. Otherwise, if I don't have any questions after this last puppy thing question, then we'll be good to go. So, but anyway, a woman asked me, and this is pretty important, when to start training your dog. How young? And it's going to sound cliche, but training starts when you bring the dog home. The dog's going to learn a lot from just every single interaction with you. The dog's going to learn if he can get his way or if he has to do something to get his way. If he's just entitled to his way or if he's going to actually be patient to get his way. So it starts day one. Crate training is super crucial. You can teach a lot of different skills in the crate. You can teach him how to sit. You can teach him how to lay down. You can teach him how to wait. You can teach him how to stay. You can teach him how to go in. You can teach him how to be patient with food. You can teach him, obviously, potty training. So crate training is obviously the first things that you'll have to do. But again, I teach my dogs patience. Never, ever. I don't care how young you are. If you're looking like you're going to rush out of the crate, I'm just not going to let it happen. Okay? And then you can also, because the puppies are so small, you can start to develop a really good follow-me relationship with the puppy. Puppies are going to follow you anyway because they're puppies. And when they make a really good choice, you can feed them some treats, some really yummy treats or something like that, you know. You can start developing some good reward for them coming to you or just following you, because that's just what they want anyway. Is it necessary? Hi, Amy. Is it necessary? Maybe not, but it can't hurt. So, yep, training a puppy starts day one when you bring the dog in. And when you're picking out the puppy, make sure, obviously, you go through a good breeder if you're going to go that route. But make sure you can meet the parents. You know, how many times I get calls and, you know, their puppy is aggressive that they got from a breeder. And I said, do you get to meet the parents? No, didn't get to meet the parents. The mom was locked up or the dad was locked up. It's a red flag. Gotta see the parents if you're going that route. Let them see them. Let me feel them. Let me touch them. Shoot, let me work them. Some working dog breeders will allow you to work the dog. So, like, if you're doing like scent work, or if you're doing bite work, I've accompanied people to find a puppy, and we worked the dog in bite work. The mom, the dad in bite work. See how it was. See what the nerves were like. So anyway, gotta meet the parents. Can't just get the dog based on how cute they are, or based on that the dog came to you. The puppy came to you, feeling all special, because the puppy would come to anybody. But anywho, all right, guys. You guys have any final questions? You better type them in now. And this Hams is tasting pretty good tonight. All right, folks. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, then I'm going to get something to eat because I'm hungry. But I appreciate you guys watching. We're here every Thursday. Same time, same channel, same place. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. I really appreciate you guys watching. And we'll see you guys next time. Happy dog training. And if I don't see any of you guys after the holidays, until after the holidays, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Goodbye. How do I end this? This my cousin Charles, and he smells like mustard. How do I end this crap? 'Cause I'm still live, husband. At the family reunion.